This was interesting because for once, here's something I actually agree with Cenk Uygur about. So Cenk Uygur is not too happy that Hakeem Jeffries is up to be minority leader of the House. I'm not happy about it either. I talked about this the other day. Hakeem Jeffries is very much against progressive policies. For those who are not aware, Hakeem Jeffries is not for Medicare for all. I'm going to show you a clip about that in a second. And although Nancy Pelosi was also really not for these policies either, the progressive members in Congress, they're actually going to have a harder time with Hakeem Jeffries than they did with Nancy Pelosi. So what I would recommend that the squad members do not vote for Hakeem Jeffries. And apparently, Cenk Uygur seems to feel the same way. So this is new for me. This is new for me. We're going to get into the hypocrisy here in a second. So Cenk Uygur said, I've said about 20 times on air that Nancy Pelosi would hand off leadership to Hakeem Jeffries. It was very obvious that she would give it to the most corporate of all the Democrats. I'm going to show you those numbers in just a second. Some progressives thought Pelosi would back them if they just played ball. A ridiculous strategy. Some progressives thought that Pelosi would back them if they just played ball. A ridiculous strategy. But that is why we wanted them to force the vote for Medicare for all and hold Nancy Pelosi's speakership at bay. But Cenk Uygur didn't agree with that. Cenk Uygur didn't want force the vote. You guys, you see it now? You see it now. What was it all for? Because in the end, Nancy Pelosi stepped down anyway. So it's been 2 years. So, which I believe was planned. So if that was the plan, this is why I said they should have just forced the vote for Medicare for all. Now they're going to end up with Hakeem Jeffries if they vote for him, which I don't know what they're going to do, but I'll be surprised if they don't. But now here is Cenk basically admitting that they should have forced the vote because we didn't get anything from Nancy Pelosi. You see what I'm saying? We didn't get any progressive policies passed. So what was the point of voting for Nancy Pelosi as speaker if you were a progressive member? Now let's go on. He goes on to say, let's be honest, progressive leadership in Congress has been a disaster. We've gotten almost none of our priorities passed. We have not used any of our power or leverage. They went with the trust leadership strategy, which was both naive and craven. It led to zero results. Oh, so Cenk agrees that they should have just forced the vote. I mean, it's just like, they didn't get anything for it. It's like they got nothing. Yeah, Nancy, I'll vote for you. Yeah, for what? What did you get? Nothing. Maybe they got to keep their seats. I don't know. But nothing for progressive policies. So this was a problem. So he goes on to say, I don't know why any progressive would vote for Hakeem Jeffries for leader. He is diametrically opposed to us on most of our policy priorities and represents the corporate wing of the party. And he went as far as to tag all of them, including Summer for PA. It's interesting how she's mentioned there, but the other progressives are not. You guys notice that? The other new progressives are not mentioned, but Summer is mentioned there. Isn't that interesting? So he went on to tag them. Now, Colin came in here too. This is the point. Colin said, I don't know why any progressive would vote for Speaker Pelosi for leader, but they did anyway. Exactly. So how corporate is Hakeem Jeffries? Let's take a look at that. You guys know we're about to pull some receipts. We got to go into open secrets. Let's see exactly who he's taking money from and how much money he's taking. And then I'm going to show you a clip of Hakeem Jeffries to show you exactly where he really stands on these issues. Here we go. So this is Hakeem Jeffries. Now this is for 2022, open secrets here. Now this is campaign committee only. And let's go down here. And that's him. Let's see where he's getting a lot of his money from. Wonder if I can make this a little bit, or I can make it bigger here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. His number one top contributor, Pro-Israel America PAC. Pro-Israel America PAC. Now you got to watch this. This part's tricky because see here, he has it listed $213,450 under individuals. So these are individual contributions, but look at who they're coming from. Pro-Israel America PAC. See that? He has NORPAC. He has Vodasane PAC. I've never heard of that one. Vodasane PAC. Comcast. Of course, Comcast will be in there. By the way, Comcast also donated to Joe Biden too. Comcast Corporation. America Israel Public Affairs Committee. What does that tell you about Hakeem Jeffries? Let's go on. Top industries are securities and investment, pro-Israel, real estate, lawyers, law firms, and lobbyists. Look at here again. This is what I was trying to tell you guys. Pay attention to what's happening. Pro-Israel, top industry for him. You can see the PAC amount. You can see the individual amount. Now we can go a little bit further. Go back up here. Because we can go to did I not press it right? Didn't I press? Oh, industries. Nope, I didn't want to do that. Hold on, guys. I'm going to go back. I want to go to contributors because I want you to see that part. There's different tabs that you can go to. All right, let's check out again. So this breaks it down past those. See, that only shows you the top 5, but I want you to see who else he's getting money from. Top 20. Again, Pro-Israel America PAC, NORPAC, Vodasane PAC, Comcast Corp, American Israel Public Affairs Committee, Paul Weiss, Apollo Global Management. Well. JP Morgan Chase and Company. Guys, he's corporate to the T. There's more. League of Conservation Voters, Blackstone Group, R&R Realty, R&R Realty, National Association of Broadcasters. Now, why would the National Association of Broadcasters give money to a politician? I wonder why. Motley Rice LLC. Yo, this is what I was looking for. Blue Cross Blue Shield. This dude is never going to let you bring Medicare for all to the floor for a vote. All the ones you don't want them to have. Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicare for all is not going to be brought to the floor for a vote under him. It wasn't going to be brought under Nancy Pelosi either, but you know it's definitely not going to be brought under him. Let's go on. Warner Brothers Discovery. By the way, they own CNN. We went over that last week. Warner Brothers Discovery owns CNN. You guys see how this is all connected? Look at all this. Microsoft. And that's just the top 20. That's what you're getting with Hakeem Jeffries. He might be younger than Nancy Pelosi. He may fit the identity card. They can say, oh, there'll be a black man he'll fit that too. But you ain't getting nothing. None of these progressive policies are going to be passed under him. Now, here's a video here from TYT. I want you to see this. This is actually from 3 years ago. 3 years ago, complaining about Hakeem Jeffries and his disdain for progressive candidates. Listen to this.
A lot of people, like I said, social media go, how dare you, Cenk? Hakeem Jeffries is perfectly progressive. Well, okay, it's a good thing he's on television because he's running for this. So you tell me if you think he's perfectly progressive. We know the progressive position is Medicare for all. So is Hakeem Jeffries interested in single payer? Let's find out.
Would you be pushing for things like single payer, more of the progressive agenda?
Well, I'm a pragmatic progressive. I think that we all want to move toward universality of health care coverage, but we have to start by strengthening the Affordable Care Act.
Did you guys catch that term? Yes, JB, that's right. Did you guys catch that term? I'm a pragmatic progressive. That's this term they're throwing around now. I'm a pragmatic progressive. Listen to the way he explains it. He starts this off.
Would you be pushing for things like single payer, more of the progressive agenda?
Well, I'm a pragmatic progressive. I think that we all want to move toward universality of health care coverage, but we have to start by strengthening the Affordable Care Act, by lowering the high cost of prescription drugs, and by making sure that we can protect people with pre-existing conditions. Those were our promises to the electorate. That's what helped us win the majority.
We got to pause there. Notice how he says we have to start by strengthening the Affordable Care Act. No, you don't. You really don't. The president can just institute this through executive order. And all you have to do, those of you in the House, is just not try to veto it. Why does he say we have to do it that way? Why do we got to do it that way? Because a lot of the politicians take money from Big Pharma. That's why he's saying that. Which, by the way, the process that he's talking about, let's strengthen the Affordable Care Act. Let's start off with that. And then let's go to cutting the prices for prescription drugs. Then let's get to that step. Then let's get to this step. By the time we get to the point where you're supposed to have universal health care, most of us wouldn't even be alive. That's just another way to stall the process so it actually doesn't end up happening. So he tried to come across like he's saying the right things. You know, I'm a pragmatic progressive. We all want to move towards universal health care. If that's the case, you wouldn't be taking money from Blue Cross Blue Shield. Let's go on.
We've got to fight for the people, specifically on the issues that we have discussed with the American people as part of our closing argument.
In other words, that's a hell to the no. No, we are not going to do single payer. We're going to fight for people with pre-existing conditions. What do you mean? That's the status quo. That's Obamacare.
And that's as far as they really want to go. That's the thing. That's really as far as they really want to go. Single payer it's not new. It's not new. Like I told you guys, I showed the video of Nancy Pelosi promoting it in 1993. So what happened to that bill? I'm going to try to see if I can find the gentlemen who wrote that bill to find out like what happened to this bill, to see if they'll come on, because I really want to know what the hell happened. So it never moved forward, right? So again, this video here is from 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Let's go on. There's something else.
Oh, wow. The Democrats have gathered up the courage to fight for the status quo. Oh my God, profiling courage. My bad, I didn't know Hakeem Jeffries was that progressive. Okay, so, well, how about the wall? I mean, this is a layup, the Trump wall. You're against that, right? I mean, and you're gonna come out on fire on the wall. It's a layup. It's the wall, Trump's wall. Let's see how he does on a layup.
Donald Trump wants to fund his border wall. I would make the argument that the images down there that we're seeing in Tijuana are the images that he would want to see in order to back him up in this fight for his border wall. Is there any deal that you can make with him for that? Is it a deal for DACA? Anything that you can do that would give him some funding for that wall?
Well, I think that's a discussion for all of us as a caucus to have as it relates to the right.
Running for a leadership position.
Well, listen, I think
don't we deserve your opinion?
Well, certainly. But I think, listen, you know, there are serious decisions that are going to have to be made with respect to issues that involve a possible government shutdown. And I think that we have to have a consensus position.
Yeah.
Again, word salad, political talk. Again, this video is from 3 years ago. So people were warned about Hakeem Jeffries back then. And she said, even back then, she said, you're applying for a leadership position.
Let me translate for you. First of all, well, it's negotiable. Okay, look, but if you were to say, as Katie Tur asked, and it's a good question, hey, could you make any deal where, like, at least you get DACA, because the Democrats still haven't gotten DACA. His answer was actually worse. His answer is, well, if there's a government shutdown, we'd have to see what, you know, we negotiate. Trump is threatening a government shutdown. So what he's saying is, if Trump makes that threat, we're gonna buckle. We're gonna buckle. I'm gonna go and talk to my corporate right-wing Democratic friends, and they're gonna tell me, don't shut the government down, don't shut, but Trump would be shutting it down. No. Whatever you do, my donors need it. They need it. So give them the wall, give them anything. Don't ask for DACA. And by the way, that's not an exaggeration. That's what they did last time. Trump threatened to shut down the government, and they said, we want DACA in return. Trump said, no, you'll get nothing. And the Democrats said, yes, sir, absolutely, sir. Yes, sir. Do we have DACA or don't we have DACA? Do we have DACA? We do not. They buckled last time. Hakeem Jeffries just promised you this time they're gonna buckle again. That's why he was elected. And they voted down Barbara Lee. They denied her that leadership role so they could put Hakeem Jeffries in there to buckle to Donald Trump.
You hear that? So if Hakeem Jeffries was willing to do that in reference to Donald Trump, what do you guys think he's going to do this time around? This is someone to seriously keep your eye on, you guys. I'm not kidding around, because he's one of the ones, and I'm going to show you something else too that came up in reference to these leadership positions, so to speak. There's something else I want to show you. And this came from Imani Oakley. And we got to give a shout out to Case Study for this as well, because he's just been doing the damn thing. Watch this. I want to show you something. So Imani Oakley, she was a progressive candidate. Look at what she tweeted. This explains why Jayapal was stabbing everyone in the back. I truly hope she gets whatever she's angling for and then actually does something with it. If she doesn't get anything, she helps suppress a potential wave that maybe could have given her more sway in leadership. She is referring to this video here from Case Study QB. Listen to what this gentleman says about politicians trying to get a leadership position. So shout out to Case Study QB for this. Listen to this.
House progressives in the mix. Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal has been very vocal. She was very engaged in House negotiations over the Build Back Better Act and some of the other key pieces of the Biden agenda. Do you see space for them? Is it too late? And why do you think the progressive wing of the caucus has been, I don't know if I can say left out at this juncture, but certainly is not on the main stage?
You have to run for a leadership position if you want it. And if you're slow to it, and I said this today, maybe on Twitter, if that still exists, or maybe in one of our newsletters, but if you don't run and you don't get out of the gate, you're going to lose. And Hakeem Jeffries, Catherine Clark, and Pete Aguilar really got out of the gate quickly and solidified their position, and that's why they are going to be the next leadership slate. But
you hear that? Hakeem got out of the cage quickly, solidified his position, and that's why he's going to be part of the leadership slate. And so, in reference to what Imani Oakley was saying, this explains why Pramila Jayapal was willing to throw people under the bus. Yep. Looking out for that seat, looking out for career advancement. That's what that's about. So not only are they not really trying to do anything for us, they don't want to work with us. They don't even want to work with each other. They don't even want to help each other. They want to help themselves. They want to help themselves. Interesting story there, though. Keep an eye on that one, the Hakeem Jeffries. Like I said, I'll stay focused here, and we'll see if the squad votes for Hakeem Jeffries. But don't be surprised if they do, because they probably already been spoken to. So that's that. Okay, let me go ahead and go to the comments here. Thank you for the super chat on YouTube, Roger. You don't agree with Cenk. Cenk agrees with you. Fixed. Thank you, Roger. Dessert Mantis, times have changed, Sabby. Jimmy Dore is not involved. Kitty loves films. Thank you for these receipts, Sabby Sabs. Always. Razal the Great, again, thank you, Sabby, for covering these things. RBN, the only ones that go into depth about this. Thank you so much, Razal. Razal the Great. Thank you for that. And JB, watch them call Hakeem Papa Bear. Right? Right.